Welcome everyone. Today I am going to discuss about Together for Our Planet, COP26, our climate, our future. What is climate change? Climate change is a change that is average temperature and cycle of the weather over a long period of time. Since 1880s, scientists have the keep thermometer-based record of the global surface temperature. What is happening to the global temperature? The planet is becoming warmer. The climate is changing. Why is climate change a problem? Over millions of years, species become adapted to survive in the conditions in which they live. A stable climate support this process and allow things to thrive. If the climate change quickly, if the climate change quickly, organisms do not have enough time to adapt to new conditions and may no longer be able to survive. Why is climate change a problem? Climate change disrupt weather patterns and cause extreme weather event to become more common. This includes hurricane activity, droughts, and floods. As the global temperature has increased, so has the number of reported natural disasters. Why is climate change a problem? Rising temperatures are the cause sea level to the increase. The rising weather can cover coastal area, destroying habitat uh, and displacing whole populations from low-lying area. Rising sea levels are driven by the two main processes. Ice melt when the atmospheres and ocean get warms, ice sheets and glacial smells resulting in the addition of the fresh water to the oceans. Thermal expansion as ocean's water get warmer. It expand cause sea level to rise. Why is climate change a problem? The increase in the global temperature is caused a reductions in the sea ice. This cause problem for animal that depends on the ice to hard, melt and sleep. Why is climate change a problem? The bright surface of the ice refers 80% of the sunlight that hits it back into the space that keep the polar regions cool and moderate the global climate. When the area of the sea ice is reduced, less sunlight is reflected back into the space. This causes more ocean warming and reduce the sea ice even further. This feedback drive faster climate change. The orange line on the particular mark the average minimum sea ice coverage from 1981 to 2010. The white ice shows the minimum sea ice coverage in 2020. The difference between two exceed 1 million miles. Why is climate change a problem? No matter how fast we act, the global temperature is said to continue rising as the result of greenhouse gases that are already in the atmosphere. The problem that we are already experiencing are going to us. Act quickly to keep the temperature rise to minimum in extreme important for human and wildlife. How much different do you think point zero 5 degrees Celsius increase in the global temperature can make? Why is climate change a problem? Carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapors are greenhouse gases that are found in the atmosphere. Energy travel from the sun to the earth as slower level travels. It does not interact strong with the greenhouse gas molecular, so it reach the earth surface. What causes climate change? The Earth's surface emits long wave radiations. This does interact with the greenhouse gas molecules. The greenhouse gas molecules absorb some of the energy trapped in the atmosphere. The process keep the Earth warm and is essential for life. What causes climate change? The higher the proportions of the greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, the more radiation is absorbed. The cause a rise of the temperatures of the earth and is known as the greenhouse effect. This increase in temperature drive climate change. Climate change can be caused gradually by natural process of suddenly by the large events such as massive meteoric strike or volcano activity. However, the rapid climate change we are experiencing how is due to three main human activity. Burning fossil fuels for heating and cooking and generating electricity and power vehicles release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Deforestations release carbon dioxide and they reduce the number of trees able to capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, reduce of biodiversity, create an unstable ecosystem. Natural loss leads to ecosystems that are less able to capture carbon from the atmospheres and less resilience in rising temperature. Who cause climate change? The 50 less developed countries are caused to have contribute 1% of the greenhouse gases and that cause global warming. The USA, EU and the China alone have contribute 60%. In the long term, everyone will feels the effects of climate change. However, some people are currently more affected than others. In some cases, the wealth of prosperous and continues has come from activities with the contributions to the greenhouse gas emissions. This wealth allows these countries to protect themselves from the effect of climate change. Poor countries are less able to adapt to the climate change and therefore suffer the most from its effect. They are also less able to develop because they need to focus on addressing the change because by climate change. Justice is the concept of fairness. Social justice relates to the fairness within a society. The idea of social justice is the people should have equal access to wealth, health, opportunity, and privilege within the society. All humans have the right to a certain standard of living, including a health diet, access to certain weather, shelter, clothing, education, and healthcare. The people more likely to live behind the development are those that have inequalities. Climate justice. The impact of climate change affect disadvantaged group of people the most. The effect the climate change on those groups need to be recognized and addressed. Climate justice means looking at the climate crisis from the perspective of the social justice solution need to not only curb climate change, they need to protect and import the most vulnerable group of the people too. We have responsibility to consider the most vulnerable when planning climate action. Remember this group of people contribute to the climate change. That is the mean the putting the people and communities that are most vulnerable to the impact of climate change at the heart of development. Governance can always make laws and policy that reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions. Business can change their process to run more sustainability. We can all make choices in our own life that reduce the carbon footprint. We can also use our voice to let business and government know that we want them to act quickly to reduce their impact on climate change. New opportunity. The transition to a low carbon economy in the years ahead bring within its many opportunity. Innovation in the process to turning an idea into a solutions. Transitions to a low carbon economy will provide a lot of opportunity to innovations. There will be need for people living educations to do things differently. New job sectors will be created and the new skills will be valuable in the job markets. COP26, 196 countries have signed to the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change. The UNFCCC aims to prevent human activity from causing damage level to the climate change. Every time the member nations meet, it is called COP, which stands for Conference of the Parties. They took at the current states of the climate and discuss action they will address the climate change. What will happen at the COP26 in 2015 at COP21 in Paris? The national signed an agreement that set out uh, an ambitious plan to tackle climate change. In the Paris Agreement, national agreed to act together to register global temperatures. To do will meet the net zero by 2050. What will happen in the COP26? The Paris Agreement instructs government to renew their commitment to the lower than emissions every 5 years, each time becoming more ambitious. Newly determined contributions are due to the first as the countries by COP26, so it is an important moment for the planet. Global carbon dioxide emissions continue to raise their Paris Agreement and are now 62%. There will be the 1990s. In the same year, the Paris Agreement 17 Sustainable Development Goals were adopted by the United Nations members. So these are the very important aspects of the Paris Agreement and climate change, and we have to take care of our nations. Thank you, bye bye, and take care.